Deb Cooper with the Canine Chronicle, bringing you a Table Talk Live update from the group time at the Kennel Club of Palm Springs on Sunday. And has this been a fantastic weekend?
As the sun is setting, it's
Absolutely. I am here with Dr. Jerry Klein, who is the Chief Veterinary Officer for the American Kennel Club. Thanks so much for visiting with us this afternoon. You had a heck of a terrier group in here today.
It's the kind of thing that I had goosebumps several times, which is this whole show. I mean, when you think about judging as a kid, and I was, you aspire to think something like this, and then usually aren't. This was a moment, so I'm very thankful to be part of it.
So we not only have the most beautiful show site ever, but we've got great dogs being judged the same. It's it's my favorite. It's probably my favorite week of the year.
It's a win-win-win.
It really is.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, if exhibitors would ask you for advice as to how they could better their dogs or better the relationship with their dogs, what advice would you give them?
Well, as silly as this may sound, is to learn about animal husbandry and have dogs be dogs. Respect, what they're good at. Find ways to hone in on their skills. Bored dogs or unsocialized dogs are just trouble for themselves and people around them in their community. As a veterinarian, I have to examine dogs, handle them. Unfortunately, the pandemic created situations where dogs weren't socialized properly, and people that weren't familiar with dogs got dogs and treated them, didn't know how to treat them. And it was an unfortunate situation. So I think that, some dogs are returned many times to other shelters or relinquished because of their behavior, and oftentimes because they're bored. And so learn, before you get a dog, do some research, due diligence about what the responsibilities for. And then once that's done, treat them the best way that a dog should be treated. Not like a child. It is, they're part of our family, but they're not our kids per se.
Right.
So,
and there are some breeds where, I don't want to say you can get away with it, but there are obviously some breeds that, are a little bit, they don't require quite as much, but they all require some.
Well, they all know how to maneuver us in their best interest in different ways. Working dogs can be more larger dogs, but smaller dogs have their way of ingratiating themselves in bad ways as well. And I think it's important for people to understand, to socialize and train them the proper way. And if not, then to ask for advice, good advice.
There it is. Know what you don't know. Ask for help.
And veterinarians, I think, on the same token, they have to be aware, and also they have to do their due diligence to learn about a little bit besides what they learn in school, to be not just a good vet, but a great vet.
Speaking of vets, I am one of the fortunate ones where I have a vet in a vet clinic that understands breeding, exhibiting, and they are supportive of all of those things. I know, unfortunately, that there still are some veterinarians out there that, I don't want to say they don't understand it, but some just are.
I think that don't understand it, I think is pretty good statement. I think that some veterinarians have had very little, if any, association with breeding dogs. I work with Vet Outreach, Mayor Beth O'Neill, which is AKC's attempt to reach out to the veterinary community and vet students, which I think is one of the best things that I do. We speak to vet students, and I have asked auditoriums of vet students, how many of you here have ever been present when a normal litter is being born? And maybe 2 or 3 may raise their hand. And so my next question is, when I was in charge of the emergency ward, and I had to hire veterinarians that have a dog come in and dyssocia. Well, how do you know when something is abnormal if you've never been around normal? And it's just, it sounds basic, but I know veterinary medicine has become very specialized, and there's radiologists and dermatologists, but most things people expect out of vet, I think most vets expect that out of themselves, is how to birth a baby, for example. How to bring a calf into this world. You might not do it every day, but you know how to do it. But how to bring a puppy. If your next door neighbor has a dog involved and they have a question, and you're a veterinarian, you should know something more than the dry cleaner on the corner. I mean, that's your job as a veterinarian. And yet, many veterinarians haven't. I think they need to reach out to breeders, and I think breeders need to find those veterinarians that are willing to learn. And this vet outreach program, what we try to do is to bridge that gap and respect for each other, and I think then hopefully learning about it. And I'm hopeful that we've made strides through the years.
So as clubs and as exhibitors, how can we help support that program?
Well, Mary Beth O'Neill, she tries integrating that vet students and all that, and trying to get that involved. But I think having area dog clubs, uh, find veterinary colleges and school of medicines, and trying to find maybe some kind of association of breeders having litters, and trying to find an alliance where vet students can be present or have mentors.
Right.
I think that's what we maybe not have, that relation. Because when you know something, you don't find it as foreign to it. You understand each other, and I think that's going to be the way we can go into the future. To always have them and us, it's all of us. It's our dogs. We all want the best for our
That's
dogs.
right. I mean, we're all a community. Thank you, Gary. We'll see you soon.